Welcome back to Fas Fas, the show where we're making way for women to get into the political conversation. Now, it is no secret that today the media is portraying women in power in a certain light. Speaking to Grace Natavalo at African Center for Media Excellence, we delve deeper into this. Hi, Grace.
Hi.
I'm sure you've heard of the perception of we deserve the leaders that we get because we put them into power. I mean, we vote them there. Is this true of female leadership? Are our female leaders a representation of us as the women in Uganda now? It's a case study.
Well, some of them are, some of them are not. But I think the problem with that is what we can call tokenism. So women members of parliament was basically a gift to women, like to make women happier, to of course also have women be represented in parliament. But it doesn't mean that just because there are women in parliament, they are not really representing women issues. For example, maybe they went to parliament with their own interests. And maybe they are not the interests that we want to, we are also interested in, or they are not, maybe they just want to be politicians without having to shout for other women or like advance women's, causes. So maybe we are getting women who just want to be politicians, but there are also lots of women in parliament who are advancing women's causes.
It's like a two-way sort of thing. You have women that are actually a representation of the woman down here. And then there are those who are, who are not necessarily a representation of us. They're on their own plot.
Not their own plot. They also have interests. For example, I won't have a particular example, but say I'm a woman MP. And then I end up in parliament and I realize my interest is around environment or economics, or I'm passionate about how Uganda is going to mine the oil. And when I start talking about, maybe the media will miss that because they expect me to be somewhere in the women rights committee or something talking about women issues. So they then miss my achievements because they are also focused on what I am there to do as a woman and not as just an MP. But of course women, because the society is male dominated, it would be good if women did that, but also advanced policies that help the women.
So let me ask really quickly, if the female representatives in parliament, now let's speak of parliament, the female representatives in parliament are either there as tokens, can't they decide or deliberate on national issues? Because I think when they're in parliament, they have a seat at the table to deliberate on all issues, not just women issues. Yes, they can push female issues, but can't they deliberate on national? You say like women who are interested in the environment. I can't think of any right now in
Betty Annual, I think was
who are interested in environment. Can't they deliberate on those issues regardless of the fact that they're on the female representative ticket? Can't they say now this is an issue that is for both men and women?
Definitely, that's how it should be. Women shouldn't be pushed in a women's corner. They should be able to sit at the table and have the same say as the male as the male MPs, that yes, when it comes to the pipeline, these are my views, and they have to be heard. If it comes to an environment issue, they should be heard. If it comes to an economics, because they are all there with degrees and masters, they've studied all this stuff, but even when the media speaks to them, they want to talk to them about children's rights or women's rights. They are equally important, but we can't give women an opportunity to just explore different interests that they have.
So they talk about these things, but the media does not report their interest in national issues.
Not entirely, because when you're writing about a women's issue, your first thought is, I should speak to a woman. But we should also be putting the cameras in front of the men and asking them about children's rights, women's rights, things to do with menstruation, anything to do with the girl child. Men should also be answerable to all that.
I like that. Do you think there's still need for activism to help put women issues or to help front women as deliberators in the national issues? Is there still a certain level of activism needed to push?
Yeah. I think that's an endless task for both women and men. And activism, though some people see it as a negative, because of course there are women who, people hate women who are loud. They're not loud because, you know, and being loud is not the worst thing. They are loud because they're trying to express themselves. So when you say activism, people are like, oh, those women are just loud. You know, people don't even want to associate with feminism. But I see activism still has a massive role to play generally in Uganda, because if you don't push for an agenda, then no one does. Everyone is just pushing their own agenda. So as activism still has a long
way
yeah.
to pushing women into the limelight.
Yeah, but you know, it's when you speak about activism, the problem is there are fewer women involved. Maybe fewer people. Young women are not entirely, they don't want to be associated with it. No, it's not attractive.
The activists that are
Yeah.
available are bashed.
Yeah,
So
they're bashed all the time, and so the young women are like, oh, I don't want to associate with that. But they're saying the same things on the sidelines as what the women activists are saying. So we are all fighting for women's rights, but some people want to fight for them by being nice and not being hard and what. So I think
they
it's
want to be accepted by society.
Yes.
Pressing for progress for women in Uganda. What does that look like for Grace?
We've been doing progress to checking on women's progress by looking at the number of women in parliament, how many girls are in school and things like that. But what about the other progress? How are we doing when it comes to sexual harassment in the workplace against women and of course against men? How are we doing when it comes to defilement of the girl child? What are we doing about teenage pregnancies? So if we are to measure progress by, you know, how many members of parliament we have who are women, that's good. How many more women we have at the helm, like URA, UNRA, we are doing better. But when we look at the other issues that affect the majority of women in this country, I don't know how we can press for progress when we don't even know what sort of progress we are at. We need to ask police questions about, you know, cases that are brought, because that is one of the main issues that is affecting. Yes, the women getting murdered, women being harassed on the streets. I've been harassed a million times on the street, but I would never even go to police because I know police would not protect me.
What kind of problem is
they would
that?
laugh at me. So, yeah, we need to find out, we need to hear from women what are the issues affecting them. You know, that way we can start measuring for progress, and if it's good, we say, let's keep pushing. If the progress is not there, we need to go back to the drawing board and figure out, yes, we have more women at the helm, but what else? What else?
Is the power trickling down? The women... Let me ask you a very strange question. Now, with more female representation in Parliament, where the laws are made, do you think, or do you presume, women are not pushing hard enough on the issues that affect women? Are we forgotten once our friends get up there in power? They're like, yeah, you guys will sort yourselves out. I have arrived.
I don't think they're not pushing, but maybe society is not enabling them, the media is not enabling them, the structure of the society may not be enabling them, and because we've been singing women rights, women issues for a long time, maybe it's also becoming, you know, a tired song, and people don't consider it as an issue anymore. And all they have to do is now present one woman who is doing this, and then we're expected to sort of just take that and then like wait for, you know, another new appointment. But I think there are lots of women who are fighting, but maybe the environment doesn't really create...
The environment is fighting them as well.
Yeah, the environment is fighting them. Maybe they're not getting enough help. And they should be getting help from both men in leadership and other women in leadership. But maybe that is missing.
So what kind of help could they be given? Because I thought a woman in a position of power is an empowered woman. She can break the things that she doesn't want. She can make new laws that favor her and her kind. What kind of support do those women need, the women in leadership who are fighting for female causes?
Well, I'm guessing we need more money channeled. I don't know how much money is channeled towards different women's causes, but I'm sure if you looked at the budget, it won't be as much. So maybe we need more money towards that, and we need the support of the men in leadership. The men also have to start caring about female issues because they have daughters, and that's not even the issue. You know, it's not that because you have a daughter then you should start caring about women issues. No, it's a society that has women and men, and we both have to be equal. So we need the same opportunities. We have to have the same access to knowledge, same access to funds, same access to power. Yeah, and that's how a society should be. But of course, we are far, far, far away from that. Because the society, men don't want to let go of the power that they have. So, you know, they push us into a women's corner, deal with your issues while we deal with the national issues. But national issues are women issues, and women issues are national issues, so are men issues.
Fas Fas is a part of a growing force of activists who are making way for women to get into political leadership. You too can join and push the women around you to join the leadership of this country. So let's continue to make way and make some noise. Happy Women's Day. For more information on women and political participation, go to the following websites.